Yes.
Hare Krishna. Now we are starting with a story of Vikarna. And slowly, because this is one story I wanted to talk for a very long time. So I will also come back to you as to who are all characters who can be, basically nominees of Krishna talking Bhagavad Gita. Before we get into nomination, somebody nominated Vikarma, and Vikarma is no less. So I'm going to tell the story of Vikarma. Does any okay? So who is Vikarna? So Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana. He's not Karna. So Vikarna is a brother of Duryodhana, and I'm going to take you directly to two scenes. Right, one is a very very important scene, which is the change, paradigm shift of Draupadi being stripped in the public place. And I'm not going to take you through Mahabharata because you all can tell me better stories. So that's very clear. What is happening is very crucial, where Draupadi, everybody, right, are feeling, yeah, that's true. Everybody are feeling absolute tiredness in behavior of Duryodhan, but nobody is able to ask. Bhishma is upset, but he has taken a vow that he will support the throne and the owners of the throne, so he could not side him. Our next target was our Dronacharya was an Acharya, but what he was having fear and insecurity because financially he was taken care by them. So, and he was very much affectionate to his own son. So even though Draupadi was his friend's daughter and very sweet, he was not able to take that stand. He was not able to put his foot down and tell that, no, don't do this, because he thought that he could be fired. Also, just before this incident happened, we have, can anyone tell me the name of another brother of Duryodhan, not Duryodhan, of Duryodhan's father?
Santanu.
Who are they? Pandu, one more brother. Haribol, correct, Vidur. So Vidur is one more brother. He is Yamaraj's incarnation. Now what is happening is he was such a pious guy and he was always siding the righteousness. Because of it, Duryodhan literally got so insulted him so much that Vidur decided he will leave the palace. So he was not present there, right? So except for him, nobody was speaking the truth, and except one more person. So that was the time everybody were hoping some miracle would happen and stop this anyan which is happening to Draupadi. Correctly, Vikarna got up and he was definitely not very intelligent, but from whatever Shastras he read, what he told, in fact, in Bhagavad Gita, Vikarna's name is coming in one word, if you read the first few slokas. So what happens is he gets up and he says, just stop. There are 4 situations where a Kshatriya can behave a little differently. One is he can actually go and ask for a war. And he may choose not to kill the other person. He can forgive and hand over the kingdom or take the kingdom, whichever, largely hand over the kingdom. Nobody will call the Kshatriya a coward, because this is a quality, and it's called trying to forgive someone is one of the great qualities of Kshatriya. You know, it's called the Raja Rishi. Why are they called Raja Rishi? Because they are Rajas and still they have not having those great desires of whatever typical, it's not just a materialistic thought, but they're all progressing spiritually. So first point is he can always decide to give back the kingdom which he has swear to take. Second thing is similar to that is the jungle. So in the jungle, they go for fighting or, mainly animal killing. So when they go to aim at an animal, he can change his mind. Instead of killing the animal, he can come back. Nobody can question. Second, the third thing is about drinking. So anything done in the influence of alcohol, this applies even for the game. Influence of alcohol is considered null and void. He can pull back the string telling, I don't want to take this up. And fourth is when it comes to women. So what happens is when a Kshatriya conquers another kingdom, he will come across the daughter. Normally the daughter will be a princess. So he will bring the girl and marry. So this is the normal process. Some of them don't marry, but they will keep them as an illegitimate girl. But normally most respectable kings do marry. And even going back to Akbar, he had over 400 wives and people were laughing. But the fact is, if he had given the sthan of the wife, nobody else will misbehave because it's king's wife, right? May not be the main wife, but one of the wives. So nobody will do. But if he is just brought and kept in the kingdom, it can happen. So the bottom line, what they're telling is the king, if she's not interested or if the king leaves, there's no problem. He can tell no problem. He can get her married. He can give her a position, get her married to somebody in his own kingdom, and those are 4 times, nobody will look down on a Kshatriya. So he says this involves all 4. One is we are literally on a war field because war or game a Kshatriya should not refuse. Many times we keep thinking Yudhishthira is so greedy, he could not control. Partly true, but majority of it is no, because Yudhishthira is such a chaste king. So there is no, why was he into the game? He never knew to play the game, but he never knew to even play the game correctly, but he had to play it because it was a force of the rule wherein war or the game a Kshatriya should not refuse. Now, so it's like a war field. Second, they were drinking, so influence of alcohol. Third, I told, obviously the forest is not applicable, but then he said that here, Draupadi is the victim, it's a girl, and naturally you could pull the string. So with all this coming up, they were all very happy and excited, telling, okay, no, we can always cancel this and call it null and void, and everybody can go back and resume the original position. Nobody, the history will not speak bad of the king. Mostly that's the thing. History will talk bad. Now he says history will not talk bad, and he's so excited. Not only others were excited, Pandavas were so relieved, and Bhishma was so excited, and he was waiting for one person to speak. We can see a smile. There were only few people who were very upset. Duryodhan was like, oh my God, why did my brother get up and speak on the side of the opponent? And what happened at this time when nothing could take over? Even Duryodhan, could not speak. Obviously, when we are talking about Duryodhan not able to talk, Dusha, son, we need not even discuss, right? He's not that brainy. He's just the body behind Duryodhan. That time Karna gets up. He says, first he is very angry and he chastises him so much, telling that why are you doing this, right? You are, you are following, you're belonging to our family and you're behaving in this fashion. And he really abuses him with words and tells him, I agree with whatever you're saying, but before I agree, I want to ask you only one question. Whatever you're talking about refers to a woman or a girl who is either married or unmarried. So a girl who is unmarried would be probably the Ilavarsi or the prince of a king, which is accepted, or the queen of the king, which could be his wife, right? The king's wife after the king. So either cases, she had a status. She would have been the princess, or she would be the queen, or it could be even a servant, doesn't matter. But she was an individual, a person. Now, Draupadi, he only said, what would you call a girl who has 5 husbands, right? He literally told that she means that she is a prostitute. And the rule does not apply to such a person. The rule applies only to this 2 categories, where you are under the shelter of the husband or father. So the king could be the husband of the wife, or he could be the father of the princess, right? So he says this is not applicable for a lady who already has 5 husbands, because she is not falling under the category of these 2. So he counters with a lot of intelligence. Karna is like super intelligent, right? So he counters and everybody feel upset except Duryodhan and Dushasan, of course. And, so that was the greatness of Vikarna. He tried his best, and even when the war was happening, Bhishma stops. Sorry, not Bhishma. Bhima says, I can't kill you. He said, you've taken a vow. He says, no, I know, but I've always considered you as a part of my brother. He says, yes, it would be my blessing if you kill me, because me fighting for my brother was my duty. That day, my duty was to stop my sister-in-law, which is equal to my mother. I failed. Today, I should have stopped my brother. I failed. But at least let me succeed by being killed for the Anyan side I am in, right? So please go ahead and do, and I would love to be killed by you in your hands. That day, what I did was a duty. I failed and twice, and today at least let me win. So this is his humble, pledge to Bhima, and Bhima had to, go ahead with that. So this is a story of Vikarna, and I would always like, given a chance, to talk about Vikarna in all the 18 days, in all the level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, because this is one guy who remains as one of the untold stories, but a class above whom we have never read, right? No serials, no movies, at least to my knowledge. I'm not a TV watcher, so I'm just going by what people have said, have spoken about Vikarna. Let's talk and really glorify this guy who's so sweet. Hare Krishna. With this, I end the session about Vikarna. Hare Krishna.